Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. This is going to be a reading. I will have to wake up a little early, so I'm doing it earlier. It's not early, it's past midnight, but it's kind of early for me. Um, well, I had to go to the mechanics for my car, and I don't like going to the mechanics, but um, I need to get one of my headlights replaced. So I'll start the reading. I didn't do anything festive or Halloween. It's Halloween right now, but um, I was taking care of my aunt, and then I went to get some snacks for myself, like some groceries, small things for some meals because I don't really cook when it's somebody else's kitchen. It's not something that I normally do, but my godmother prepared some meals, and I mainly wanted to get for Gulliver um, chocolate, so I got that. I found something that I was trying to find. It's the salmon or Atlantic salmon in mustard sauce. It's the Baltic Gold brand. And it's ready to eat, rich in vitamin D. The nutritional facts, it has 8.8 micrograms. A lot of times with vitamin D, when you see it on bottles, it'll have the IU. So it's nice that the micrograms is there because you don't have to convert it unless you don't want to convert it. So when I use like um, 0.025 micrograms, then 19 grams of protein, and 180 milligrams of potassium, provides 1,845 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids, calcium 30 milligrams. Uh, I don't have to read the whole thing, but if you want to read it, well, I don't know if my webcam you would be able to, but maybe you're interested. If you can't see it, I'm really sorry. I got some Doshirak. They didn't have the flavor that I got last time, but I figured it would be nice to have them. And I like the fork that it comes with. I don't know if I used it last time. I thought it was fun to have at the very least. And I also got a drink at Wegmans because was, um, I didn't want to get the large drink. I usually get the smaller one, but they didn't have the smaller one. They're really into the apple cider right now. But I like their raspberry apple juice. It's cold pressed 100% juice, not from concentrate, unfiltered. I really like these juices. 1 gram of protein, 1 milligram of iron, 12 milligrams calcium, 243 milligrams of potassium, 124 milligrams of vitamin C. I didn't I didn't read for the other ones about the fat, cholesterol, sodium, carbohydrates. I showed it. I don't know what that'll show. Oh, I don't think so. It was a fun little adventure, and then I had to go to the mechanics, and I don't like going because they take my money. But I mean, sometimes you just kind of like tiptoe in there, and you're like, please don't have expensive comments about things about my car. But we'll see. I think I'm gonna get my tires rotated. I put air in my tires the other day, and it helped a little bit. I want to see how one of my back tires is. Um, but the roads are rough here. And it's not like back roads, it's like a lot of um, jagged roads here and potholes, so. And I was also gonna um, wake up early so I could see if my aunt needed anything before I leave the house for a little bit, because I won't be able to do a lot of knitting out. I might do a little bit here and there, but I don't know when my godmother will be back. Maybe after Halloween. Um, if she's taking care of some children. I'm sorry about like mechanics. It's kind of reminds me of like vampires. And I don't have anything against mechanics because I know that that's just what they do, but it's not a happy time when you hear something about your car. And my electric spinning wheel got shipped out. I'll see what happens. I'm hoping things are going to run smoothly. It's going through FedEx, and I haven't had a problem with FedEx in the past, particularly with international packages. It is actually a kind of smooth process from what I've had in the past. The package is coming from Poland this time around. So, um, I think it's supposed to come here get here next week. I'm not sure. But I don't have my adapter on me, and the one that I saw in the store, because it's not the same as the US one. It's the outlet plug is different, like the pack that I saw. So it's when you're going internationally, not like when you're doing it here. So I might have to find it, like try to find it somewhere or maybe order it. Amazon, I was looking at my Amazon account and I think it's been like 2 years since I've used it because I didn't really have history of purchasing anything this year. I didn't have anything. I had some things from 2023, but not a lot. I think it's sweet because in the future for the Angel Tarot, it's Page of Water, Page of Cups. Intuitive, sensitive, artistic, friendly. A new person enters your life, a relationship begins a new phase, heightened psychic abilities. For this one, if it does have to do with relationships, it feels like you find a way, or another person finds a way, or there's something that seems a little far fetched and dreamlike. You know, when you reach for the stars type of energy, and somehow things just come in the way that it needs to come in, or it's at the right time, even though it could have been really, really delayed for some reason. There's delaying energy. You have the Empress here too, and the Empress is maternal here, and like with pregnancy, it's waiting a couple of months, almost, well, it's waiting, and um, there, even though there's the waiting, there's the anticipation too, and I think there's the excitement that comes out of it. The Seven of Swords might have you might have you at a daze because it feels like information or something that has transpired or that you learned about, and it's learning how to maneuver at this time. So I wouldn't be too worried even if there are certain obstacles that come in your way. Because the King of Swords is the underlying energy of the Seven of Swords. And Justice, it feels like more of the universal law. And it could also have the threefold effect too. And I won't be linking that to the pregnancy, of course, but it just feels like there's things that aren't the aren't things that you normally deal with or aren't things that are like really um to your liking, but somehow things come together. You know, I was actually going to do a another Circle of Friends reading today, and then it just went over my head. So maybe another time. And with the Seven of Swords, I feel like there's concentration too. You know, when you do certain things at night, and obviously it's darker, like if you're trying to knit at night, if you're trying to read or do some type of activity that you might want to wait till the morning to do, it might be more efficient that way or even safer because maybe if you do it at night, like maybe if I'm driving at night and my one of my headlights is out and then um I'm not gonna bring it up. There's another reason why I'm going to the mechanics too. But I won't say it mainly because it's never happened before and I was actually surprised too. And I feel like the more I would go into this story, the more it would be like, oh my God, Adrian, what did you do? I mean, I've done different things on the road, but this specific thing, I actually had to go into the mechanics to fix. So, oh, no, no. It's so stupid. And that's why I'm kind of upset about it because it's really stupid. So it's the Five of Air with the World as the present energy, Five of Swords, an unwise choice, learn what you can from the situation, review everyone's motives. And it kind of feels like um again, going with that Seven of Swords energy, maybe you made a decision to do something in the dark, and then it's when maybe you didn't even have all the information too, because it's linked to swords, and swords can link to knowledge and communication and perception. And you went through it anyway, thinking like, um, I'm sure it's gonna be fine. And then you do it and you kind of go through the repercussions of doing it. And I'm not, and I feel like it's one of those things where you're like, well, it happened, so now we're going to make way to fix what we did when maybe we shouldn't have done it at that time. So it's the World card, Archangel Michael, a job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude, the path towards enlightenment. And with the World card here, it could be one of those memories where you're like, there isn't any malice towards that memory, or it's just something that you had to learn and deal with, and even think outside the box, or there's just something that could have been self-inflicted too when it comes to maybe self-sabotaging yourself. So maybe when we're in a certain cycle and we do something that it shouldn't have been, maybe it should have been thought over more, and maybe we should have studied or um, waited for the right time instead of maybe taking the test prematurely, and it led to something that was unnecessary. It also reminds me of like the fuck it energy. Like if you are trying to get into, this is what happened today, but say like you fell short with driving to a plaza that you were supposed to get to, and there's like a gap between that plaza and the plaza that you need to go to, and there's just like an empty space of like kind of fields and everything, and you're just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna drive through the fields and get to, and get to the next plaza. And so there could be things that you just you take risks on, and maybe you don't get in trouble for those things, or maybe it's not as bad, but there are other times where you're like, I shouldn't have done that prematurely. Maybe I could have waited a little longer. Waiting for things to fully heal is one thing, or fully mature in a way. Your obstacle is the Page of Earth, Page of Pentacles. Scholarly, dependable, patient, successful. As your obstacle, good news about financial matters, wanting to do something more challenging, a new area of study. I'm sorry. It also kind of reminds me of like maybe it doesn't come to mind too, because um I remember one time when one of the technicians came over to my apartment, and then I just I just went into my fridge and I took like juice out. Like I took something like this out, and then I started drinking it. And she's like, "Well, damn, Adrian, what if I wanted some?" Because clearly I'm just kind of, I mean, you could obviously get a cup, but I didn't. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I don't usually have company over. I'm so sorry. I actually would, I have to get other things that you could actually drink and eat that I just didn't pick at." How to overcome the obstacle is the strength in the Four of Cups. Missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities, and the strength is Archangel Ariel. Great inner strength, release harsh judgments, forgiveness, and compassion. So I feel like it's more towards being easier on yourself. Maybe not stressing yourself during like this pregnancy time, if you will. If you have to rest, then definitely rest. Eat the proper things that you know are good for this time. Um, do things that can definitely benefit you, especially in a healthy way and healthy in different ways too, because the mother's health, since I said help, it could also be linked to that too. The mother's health is super important, and the child. Because there could be like tiger energy, because there's tiger energy in this card, and it tends to be linked to like that animal tends to be linked to like being vengeful. And so even if somebody doesn't cross your path, it could be one of those things where you might have baby brain, and if you're not pregnant, like having baby brain and just having the fog, if you will, of maybe not remembering this in your schedule, or um, you forget to bring this. It just feels that it's fine, and there feels like a community energy, as if because the world card is there and the justice card feels as if even though things can happen that is that are like bad things to people that haven't done anything to deserve that, there are also instances where when you do something, it really amplifies if you believe in those types of universal laws. That can go with The Secret too. I haven't talked about that in a while, but they have a documentary about it, and it's the way that you bring things in. And with the mentality, it doesn't differentiate from like the positives and the negatives. Like if you keep thinking that they say if you keep thinking you have a bill in the mail and that's the only thing that really comes to you, it doesn't differentiate when you feel or think about those positive things about yourself, about your life, and what those expectations are. Um, I feel like it's good to have certain expectations, but it's also good to have um, broader perspectives too. I think that seems to be a healthy thing. And also, when things don't go according to what you imagine them to be, it's good to look into the alternatives of things. And yeah, the past cards, the Magician, Archangel Raziel. You're ready, you have the resources or ability to manifest them. Life is magical with the Nine of Earth, Nine of Pentacles. Enjoying life's little luxuries, spending quiet time alone, successful self employment. There seems like to be a cushion there because Nine of Earth, Nine of Pentacles, there seems to be some type of, like if you have a savings or even trust fund, it kind of feels like that type of cushion. If there is a predicament where something does go in a direction that you weren't planning or wanting, it's it comes out okay. Or you see something maybe on the news and it's not the news that you were wanting or expecting. There's the adaptation. I feel like that's a lot of like um, being okay. And I feel like the King of Swords in this reading can be a card to say that it's one of the main cards. just because with this type of personality, it might seem like there must be a distance between, or a calm composure, that type of disarray, and trying to be composed, if you will. And when I say distant, like distant, reserved, and but making sure that just because you're having that outward um, persona, that you're not freaking out on the inside. I don't feel like the King of Swords really has like the freak out moments on the inside. Not in general, but of course everyone can. Um, there's just something that if you think clearly about it, it won't be as bad of a result. So the present is the Chariot with the Death card. This has been a combination that has been coming up in the past couple of readings. It feels like movement and then reviving something again. Major Arcana, Empress, Major Arcana World, Strength, Magician are Major Arcana cards. And it doesn't have to be, well, it's not literally bringing something to life. Well, in certain ways it can be, but it seems like a halt where you have to, where you're forced to stay put and to make sure that you get things finished before other things arise. I I'm getting like something kind of forces you to stay in place to solve these or to solve these problems before getting to the next stage, because I feel like things will start piling up. The obstacle is the Four of Pentacles. I also feel like it has to do with the Page of Cups, Page of Water that's in the future for the Angel Tarot. Because for the Four of Pentacles, since it's an obstacle, I'm reading it more as reverse, as if there isn't much of a savings or there isn't much of a backup plan to this. Like you can't even think like it isn't, because it has to be. Like things have to be resolved, and there's no other way around it. And you could say there's always change that can happen in life. There is. For this reading, I'm getting like there are a good amount of major arcana, but with the Page of Water, the Page of Cups, even though it's minor arcana court card, it seems that it'll be a lighthearted result. Like there's so much enthusiasm. It The energy feels like a baby bird. or like a little childlike or like a baby in some type of way where um, there's a lot of pureness that comes from this too. And even with the world just seems so vast because you're seeing it from the eyes of a child, and even with the enthusiasm that you might get from the Fool card isn't here. But um, just that journeying, the world being 21, and then it's always the Fool's journey. The Fool is 0. Magician is 1. Because when you're younger, like if you go somewhere and maybe you go to a store, you go to like a community center when you're younger, and it just seemed like so big. But then when you go there as an adult and you're like, this is actually not that big of a place that I remembered it to be X amount of years ago. How to overcome the obstacle is the Two of Cups, and the overall energy is the Eight of Swords. Because I'm getting like, what are you not hearing or even seeing with the Eight of Swords? Because the Two of Cups looks like getting your feet wet. Then it's the Three of Pentacles for clarification. So it looks like something still is, it's like things are in the works. Because even in the future card, because the present card from the Slavic legends is the Empress, and in the future you have the Empress with the Eights of Swords. So it could be a trial and error thing, and you finally get the answer that you're looking for. Because this kind of feels like the main answer that you were trying to have or achieve, um, to reach. If you're trying to reach like another type of level of like a grading type of system too. And I can't help like with the Empress, it's almost as if saying like victory, like you put your hands up and you're proclaiming it. You also have the Four of Wands as an extra card in the past. The Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. With the Three of Wands, I'm kind of getting like, and I'm not trying to say it in a not a good way, but like almost like fake death, like false alarm, that um, and almost crying wolf. So there could be something where the people that may have looked down on, this is something more specific and a little different than the rest of the reading, but um, that maybe looked down on you or that were against you. This like a group. This could be like a national struggle in that way. Um, for some reason, there's a link with people against you and then false alarm. That's like the main thing, and that's more specific because it doesn't completely go with a lot of things here, but I guess it can because there's energy of being hard on yourself when it's maybe a good time to just be a little more lighthearted if you can. It's always good to be, even in hard, deplorable conditions sometimes. Um, I think it'll help with your mind surviving tough times. Because the Four of Wands does feel like it's coming together. It does feel a little bit like the Three of Cups in a way, where it's finding that sense of community from the Three of Cups, and then the Four of Wands is enjoying those times and even the fruits of your labor. That's linking to the Three of Pentacles. Three of Cups doesn't show up here. Three of Pentacles does show up as a clarifying energy, and it keeps working. And so it could be like that work, teamwork of community, and then seeing everything and feeling happy about that is the Four of Wands. And you can maybe link it to the Eight of Pentacles too. Again, it's another card that doesn't show up in this reading, but just to generally link it since it comes to mind. The Eight of Pentacles is after the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles can be seen as something where you're trying to harvest things and tend and put effort. And I feel like it's like a two-way streak, as I mentioned in the other reading of the last reading about talking about um, like plants, seeing and appreciating how we help them grow, and they don't want it to be in vain. It's like they felt the nurturing and the love that went into taking care of them. So it feels like there are a couple of different energies with that too. I have Archangel Ariel again. Um, the Archangel Oracle, and from the Angel Tarot, courage, Archangel Ariel, be courageous and stand up for your beliefs. Passion, Archangel Haniel, trust and follow your renewed passion in your love, life, and career. I'm just reading the notification. I don't know if you heard that, but it's same with my car. Like, I have a tendency of like seeing buttons in my car that I've never pressed before. And then when I'm driving, I'm like, I wonder what this button does. And I'm thinking, Adrian, can you like not do this at this time? You can do it when you're parked or something. Because my notification suggestions says turn off notifications from Feedback Hub. We notice you haven't opened these in a while. I don't even know what that is, to be honest. Well, I know a general idea of what it could be, but that it's Indigo and Crystal Children. Archangel Metatron, you have a bond with children. In particular, you can help children who are sensitive. I haven't seen this card in a while. And it's nice that it comes up because I feel like there is a sense of a connection there too. Um, Towards the beginning midway-ish of when I was doing more channeled messages, and I still do some. I do a lot of these readings, and it's a Ukrainian channeled messages, and there's the spirit that came to me in the dream, and for sure it was a spirit, and it was not part of the dream. Because I don't let spirits get too close, but this spirit was adamant, and she gave me a baby. She wasn't like impregnating me or anything, but the baby was already there, but literally giving me the child, and the child was weighted when I was holding the baby in the dream, and I was like, Adrian, where are you? And she just looked at me with a straight face, and it was the I giving the message of take care of this baby. And there were actually two women that came out. It was like when I was in my hotel room at the time, and I remember that night I was like, I hope I give a message. I want to give a message that is useful or beneficial to them, and then that dream came up specifically, and I was trying to like revert, like change whatever was happening because I felt the spirits come out. It was coming out of a closet, and um, one was, it kind of felt like um, mother daughter, but the daughter was an older age, like as if you can have, or you can have them at different ages, but like a time to have a child type of age, maybe. And I saw the elderly one, and that was what it was for that dream. I also had other visions that night too, specifically actually of the statue. And the statue, it was a specific scene. There were two scenes that came up. It was really busy around that area. We're just, it was such a crowded area. And I remember it was more crowded than like New York City. And there was one person that I did see like in the crowd that just was kind of highlighted there. Um, and he was just standing out in the crowd. And another scene of like another crowded area, but not as crowded, and people playing their instruments. So it kind of like it reminds me of that too. Then it's remember who you are. I just turned this over, and it just feels like linking to what I was saying too. Archangel Michael, you are a powerful, loving, and creative child of God. You are very loved. Angel Therapy, Archangel Raphael, give your cares and worries to his angels and allow us to take your burdens. I feel like this really links to like having more stress than what you need or that what it calls for. I don't feel like you need all the stress in the world, but especially at times where I feel like the guides or the spiritual beings, like angels and the fairies, and are telling you that it's okay. You know what to do. Archangel Uriel, trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. There does seem to be a guidance with the light there. All is well, Archangel Jeremiel. Everything is happening exactly as it's supposed to. With hidden blessings, you will soon understand. And clairsentience, Archangel Raguel. Notice your recurring and physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. And I feel like a lot of things are meant to happen because maybe you're holding off on doing something and then it could actually be more dangerous or harmful than what you're thinking about. And so maybe the universe just like kind of forces you to do this, and maybe it's a little more tedious at this time because you waited, but it's there was a good chance that maybe it could have been way more harmful towards the wait, like if you kept waiting than working on it at the moment. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in another video. Bye.